Let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. Hippocrates. In the mid-18th century, England had an obsession with ketchup. It was a popular addition to countless dishes, from stews to vegetables and even desserts. But this wasn't the tangy tomato condiment we know today. Instead, it was a sweet and savory brown sauce that didn't even contain tomatoes. So where did this early version of ketchup originate? And how did it transform into the iconic red sauce we see everywhere today? To answer that, we need to start with ketchup's distant relative, fish sauce. As early as 300 BCE, Chinese fishermen found a way to preserve excess fish they couldn't consume immediately. They salted the fish and stored them together. Over months, the fish fermented, breaking down into a rich, salty liquid. This liquid was strained and stored as fish sauce. The Chinese weren't the only ones who discovered this technique. The Greeks, and later the Romans, embraced fish sauce in their cuisine. They called it garum, and it became a staple seasoning across the Roman Empire. Garum factories were built throughout the Mediterranean, producing thousands of gallons of the prized sauce. When the Roman Empire fell, garum production disappeared from Europe. For centuries, Europeans cooked without this umami-rich ingredient. But that changed in the early 1600s when the Dutch East India Company began trading in Southeast Asia. Among their many imported goods was a fermented fish condiment known locally as ketchup or ketchup. When this sauce reached British ports, its name was anglicized to ketchup. Europe's love affair with this fishy liquid began anew. For a time, ketchup was shipped across the Western Hemisphere. But by the mid-1700s, European traders lost access to key Asian ports. Determined to keep ketchup alive, British cooks began creating their own versions. Recipes featured ingredients like oysters, anchovies, mushrooms, and walnuts. Over time, ketchup became a generic term for brown sauces. Some of these creations evolved into enduring favorites like Worcestershire and HP sauce. It was an American chef, however, who introduced a bold new ingredient to the mix. While tomatoes were not widely used in Europe, American cooks embraced them. In 1812, James Mees, a Philadelphia physician, unveiled the first tomato-based ketchup. His recipe combined tomato pulp with spices, raw shallots, and brandy. Although this ketchup was very different from fish sauce, tomatoes contained glutamate, the same compound responsible for umami flavor. This gave the new ketchup a rich taste, and its timing was perfect. As bottled foods gained popularity in the late 1800s, tomato ketchup became a staple for many food companies. By the 1870s, most tomato ketchups had simplified their recipes, dropping the shallots and brandy in favor of sugar, salt, and sodium benzoate. But one man was about to revolutionize the recipe entirely. Henry J. Heinz started his business with pickled vegetables, but soon expanded to ketchup. By the early 20th century, Heinz aimed to create a healthier product. He replaced sodium benzoate with riper tomatoes and added a significant amount of vinegar. The resulting thick and tangy ketchup became an instant hit, despite being notoriously hard to pour. Throughout the 20th century, Heinz ketchup spread across the globe, pairing perfectly with staples of American cuisine. Today, it's a household essential, found in 90% of American kitchens. Heinz's recipe has also become the base for countless sauces and dressings, all tracing their roots back to ketchup's fishy origins. For more videos, please like and subscribe.